Hi guys, Jasmo here, and today I wanted to make a Path of Exile video talking about the new Synthesis League and my impressions of it after playing for a few days. I am playing right now a Trickster with a Allelopathy setup that I'm gonna showcase in a minute. I'm gonna explain it, but first maybe let me jump into a map. Let's go into a yellow map here. And just showcase the build in action, and then I'm just gonna talk about first what is my impression of the league, and then how the build works and what character am I playing and what is my plan for this league and so on. Let me just level these gems because we are leveling a ton of stuff. So that's what we're doing. We're just running, zooming with shield charge as well as flame dash, because flame dash is kind of mandatory this league, because if you want to do the memory fragments without flame dash, it's kind of cancerous, right? Like, you can also have blink arrow. You just need a teleport skill, right? You cannot do this just on dashing skills because you're gonna be running into that annoying blue thing. The league is kind of tedious. I don't really like it so far in terms of like just the mechanic, right? I really like the league, but I'm not that fond of the mechanic. As you can see, we're melting bosses, right? We just melted this boss, no problem, in a couple of seconds, and we are running on gloves. Gloves is the main skill that I'm using right now, right? And I'm gonna explain that in a moment, how that works. It's a very unconventional setup, I think, but it will be more popular this league, and it's an amazing way to start the league because it allows you to level the gems. It has so many benefits. It has been just like the best start ever. The league itself, like the league mechanic, is kind of disappointing and tedious because of like how little it rewards you if you don't just full on engage into it. But if you do engage into it full on, then it's very rewarding, right? So it's definitely, you can see like the memory fragment. Let me do one just so you can see. So you enter this and then you don't know where to go exactly, but you kind of guess. And here I need to find two places to stabilize it. Here's the first one, and then we go deeper. It's gonna be somewhere to the right. Let's kill some monsters. It's gonna be here soon. Nope, it's gonna be on the bottom. There we go. There it is. So we stabilized this memory. We reached both of these points before the thing closed in on us, and now we can just farm some monsters, whatever we can find here, just for some additional loot. Or something else. As you can see, proxy shields, not a problem, right? Proxy shields don't bother us because our skills apply dots. They don't do damage with hits, right? Yeah, we can press this button to speed it up and just jump into the blue thing to get ported out. I am collecting daggers when it comes to the bases of this, Vol Orb and some other stuff. Okay. So that's the memory fragments, and then you jump into the memory nexus and you do the memories combined. You combine them into chains, and then the longer the chains you have, the more zones you go through that add additional mods to these zones, and then they all gain these benefits once you actually connect them. And then you just get huge loot afterwards, but you really need to invest a lot. You need to have the right pieces, you need to maintain the chains, you need to make sure that you have the right connections. So you need to like have a place where you like kind of waste some of them, because you only have 10 slots to hold the memory fragments. Very tedious, very annoying to run. So right now I'm doing delving and mapping, and I'm enjoying it so much. Like this league in general, I enjoy it a lot. I'm just not engaging into the league mechanic that much, right? But overall the gameplay is amazing, because the character that I have right now is like one of the smoothest characters that I've ever played with. Like, it's not the fastest character ever. Like, there are ways of making a much faster character for mapping, but this is a good compromise. It's a very good mapping character. You can clear maps just quickly as any normal good viable build, but the thing is, you also have good single target damage, because we have let me show you here. This Spreading Rot jewel makes Blight inflict withered for 2 seconds, and it gets increased a little bit by our ascendancy and other things. And then Blight is level 22 from these gloves, and you just keep spamming that, and not on, like, you can replace, for example, greater multiple projectiles for something like avoid manipulation, right? That's what you would do. And then you just have one soul rend going into the boss. That's for bossing, right? It's a great compromise. That's what I would do for bossing. You can still keep GMP if you want, right? But I don't think it's necessary. I think would be much more damage for bosses. You could also do Essence Drain with this if you wanted. Soul Rend is just good for clearing maps, right? So this is the setup. Let me explain this now. Allelopathy as a gloves, which you can equip at a level 69, and that's when you should start using them. And they will start destroying anything you're doing. You just need these gloves with a decent roll of increased damage over time. Like try to have 25 plus, is between 20 and 30, so be in the upper half. Like ideally you want 30% or 29, right? 1%, not a big difference, but as high as you can. And they cast 22, they give you 22 blight, right? Level 22 blight, as if you had a gem 22 blight linked to all of this. That means you can amplify the damage through links, but instead of doing that, I'm using cast while channeling, soul rend, greater multiple projectiles, so that's how it looks like. And then for amplifying both of those skills, I'm using efficacy. You can also use controlled distraction, right? I have it somewhere here. You can also use controlled distraction, which will be also 44% more damage multiplier. However, this one is a little bit better for the damage over time portion because you have increased skill effect duration, which works well for Blight because you get more stacks and Wither and also Soul Rend. So efficacy is, I think, the best support gem for that. And it clears yellow maps here, no problem. And it's very fun playstyle. I find it really interesting, like the way the skill looks. The way like you hit a pack with Blight and with the Soul Rend, and then you dash to the next pack which already have been hit by Soul Rend, that was like homing missile style turned into it, and then you get to also like cast one Blight, or maybe they just die to a shield charge. You keep charging into the next pack, and I'm using shield charge to keep up Fortify, and I'm using Flame Dash to keep up Arcane Surge, right? So I'm using both, and like, you know, when there is big distance to cover, I'm using shield charge. When there are obstacles to jump over, I'm using the flame dash, and that's it, right? Other than that, my gear is kind of shit with few exceptions. So the ring is like whatever random ring that has 2 resists and some energy shield and evasion. I crafted damage on it. 2 resists and some energy shield, that's all. Crystal belt I found while delving. I found it with perfect implicit of 80, and then I crafted, I like just spammed alterations until I had increased energy shield and lightning resistance, and I crafted another resistance on it. Boots, just this, you can, I think it's like 1 chaos or something, like I don't know, you can find them so cheaply. No, they're actually like 15 chaos. Okay, still cheap, but it's huge evasion and huge energy shield. It's in huge movement speed, so it's like good for a starter if you don't want to invest into like very well crafted boots. Then we have a good shield. For shield, all you're looking for is energy shield, as much energy shield as you can. If you can get like 300 or more, that's amazing, because you have these nodes here in this build which you gain 40% increased energy shield from equipped shield, and here 60%. That means 100% increased energy shield from the shield that you have equipped, and that is huge. And you want to be using shield for the shield charge, because as a trickster you get tons of attack speed everywhere. Here also attack speed, so it's very good to as a play style, and I find it very fun. Then we have chest, which I just found random, some resist big ES shield, which is like almost 500 energy shield, and that was very early in the league, and I don't need to 6-link. So because I'm using Allelopathy as my main skill, I'm just using Bane. I'm just leveling skills here. I'm literally just leveling skills in my chest, in my shield, and in the offhands. I'm leveling like added chaos damage and lighten and tons of Banes, because every streamer right now is playing Bane, and that skill is just, you know, used by everybody. Everybody wants to buy level 21 or 20 quality level 20 Bane just to quickly switch to that build. So that's what I'm leveling right now, and that's gonna be a huge influx of money once they level up. And this is also actually a very good amulet that I found early on with 20% spell damage and 5% cast speed, 9% increased maximum energy shield and fire resist, and also it has strength because I need strength to be using shield, charge and fortify, because this build in terms of the passive tree gets very little strength. You are very limited by that, so you need some strength on gear. That's why I have that, and also on this rank here. And the one really, oh, this is very crappy weapon, just it had high attack speed, so just high attack speed and some damage. That's basically, I just found it and that's what I'm running with, but I need something better. Ideally you want like Breath of the Council, which is corrupted, to have implicit, that adds more chaos damage, like a 50% increased chaos damage. I think there's such an implicit, but it's very rare. Also, you can have like a rare crafted weapon, preferably from like these new implicits, synthesized implicits, that gives you chaos damage, right? Increased chaos damage, implicit, and then increased spell damage and attack speed, maybe cast speed, and that's it, right? And you can craft like damage over time multiplier on it. And this is the best piece of gear I have, the helmet. I found it for like 130 chaos, which is a lot of chaos, but it's definitely worth it because it has the perfect lab enchant that I would like, which is the increased blight AoE. It's better than the increased blight damage because I'm not complaining about the lack of damage. Like if you really wanted the damage, you can go for the damage, but I definitely prefer the AoE because most of the time you just want more AoE. You want to hit more monsters at the same time so that you can zoom through the maps faster. And you can stand further away from them and so on. So I really love this enchant. This is the best enchant from lab that if I had to pick, I would pick this one. And then just a lot of ES, almost 370 ES and 2 huge resists. So this is just an amazing helmet for me, and because also we have the ascendancy here, right? The escape artist, which is just absolutely insane. 5 evasion per 1 maximum shield on the helmet. So this gives me over 1000 evasion. This is also over 1000 evasion because of that, right? So that's what we are running with. And then you need, I think, Witchfire Brew, because that solves the curse situation. You don't need any other curse, you just have the damage curse, and that's good. If you want to set up like a double curse through some item and then Blasphemy, run Enfeeble or Temp Chains, you can do that, but I'm just using this for my curse because this does count for the limit of curses. So if you're using this all the time, that's good. And then just Quicksilver of the curses, so I never get cursed and wrecked by curses. And then I'm just running like Quartz Flask because I like it for delving, and I don't like dying to getting stuck in mobs. And then just Freeze Bleed Flasks just for some defenses and attack speed, cast speed, move speed, yeah? So that's what I'm running here, and the build is very comfortable. Like when you have the Shrouds, your attack speed is actually fairly respectable. Oh, hello Einhar. So this is the movement speed, attack speed, so it's a decent speed. Like that's a normal movement speed. It's not super fast, but like it's enjoyable. That's what I can say, right? So right now I'm gonna be probably going for Atlas completion and the Shaper and Elder, and when I have some Shaper and Elder fight footage, then I will definitely make videos out of that as well to show you how the build performs. And I'll actually, it's kind of interesting to see how far the allelopathy can take me, right? And we'll see how far they can go and what is this item capable of, because I think like this is fairly underestimated item. Like you get level 22 Blight right away, with Blight receiving such an insane buff this league. So if you've played before and you tried Blight, or you've seen it before, it's way better than it was. Like no comparison. It's like the damage feels like 20% higher for no reason. It feels like you have an additional link or something, right? And also for auras, what's worth mentioning, I'm using Malevolence, right, which is just 20% more damage over time. And I actually for one moment crafted on my rings less mana cost of skills, and it's very easy to get your Blight to cost 0 mana. So you can actually cast a 0 mana skill, you can reserve 100% of your mana, no problem. 0 mana, all of that, clearing yellow maps on a skill that costs 0 mana to cast indefinitely. That's kind of ridiculous. That's what this item is capable of, right? So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time when we have some Shaper or Elder fight footage.